So efforts are underway now to find sustainable sanitation solutions and innovative interventions to the water and sanitation crisis in South Africa. And so the Water Research Council and key partners like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and South African Legislature Association have launched a South African Sanitation Technology Evaluation Program. The launch took place last week. Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation Minister Melinda presented along with other stakeholders and investors, or she was there along with other stakeholders and investors. Research Manager for Sanitation Units at the Water Research Commission, Dr. Sudhir Pillay, is here to take us through the program and what it says to achieve. Dr. Pillay, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. So I just want to take you back to our history, our historical legacy. If you find out South Africa, not everyone has sanitation.
Yes.
And our differences in how we deliver sanitation is quite different. So if you're sitting in the building like this, you're going to get a nice waterborne solution which you can flush. But if you're out in the rural areas, you're going to get a dry sanitation. A Rolls Royce or a motorbike, there's nothing in between. So a lot of this work that we've been doing, this program called SASTEP, it's a South African Sanitation Technology Enterprise Program. A lot of these technologies have been developed by Bill Gates himself. He funded a lot of the development of these new technologies. So it's bringing these new solutions that can meet our water stress and protect the environment.
I mean, one of the things the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has put a lot of work into is how do we create sanitation solutions for places with no bulk water supply. And that, of course, would apply to a lot of part of rural South Africa, some of our peri-urban areas. But there's always a question of then how do we implement it? Do we have a working prototype in this country? I know they've tried it in other parts of certainly the continent, but have we seen it being tried out here and what were the results?
Oh, yes, it's definitely been tried, Joe. Actually, if you watch the Netflix documentary Inside Bill's Brain, episode 1, he actually mentions Durban as one of the key places where a lot of these technologies are being tested. And that's the key part. We want to test them in our own environment, see if they work, and see how users feel about it, because at the end of the day, the user must also like the toilet. So a lot of this program is developing, how do we accelerate, because they're at an early technology stage. So how do we commercialize, industrialize this process, make it cheaper to scale, and also have this program where enough units are built and we can extend it out to the rest of South Africa and also the rest of Africa.
And so far, how's it been working?
It's been working okay, but as I said, it's in the pilot stage, so we're testing, we field testing it. We're looking at what are the users' responses, what does the municipality say, how much can you recycle, how many people can use, and so it's a small little details we're trying to fine-tune at the moment before we extend it out further.
And the plans in terms of timelines, when would you look to extend it and to where? I know you mentioned Durban has been kind of one of the pilot sites. Where else has it
Well, we're looking at more for schools also. You know, if you noticed in the news, there were some incidences with kids falling into latrines. So we're also looking at school sanitation as one of the drivers for this. Can we put these new sanitation options in these schools that de-risks it for everyone? So no chance of falling, good clean toilets people can use. And most of the problems rely, if you look at the outside areas, you have a sludge buildup and you need to dispose of that somewhere. And so a lot of these new toilets actually destroy all the sludge inside the toilet itself, inside its own processes. So that's the nice part.
And so if somebody's watching right now and they're wondering how to get involved or what is this you require from them, what do your answer be, Dr. Pillay?
Well, I think of how to get involved, well, there's different ways you can get involved from society. Also, if you think about your toilet, your conventional toilet uses about 6 to 9 liters of water. Now, think in a water-stressed country like us, if you had to choose between flushing this or drinking it, the choice will be obvious, wouldn't it? So we're looking at supporting these more water-efficient toilets as soon as they become commercialized. We want users to try these new toilets and also save water.
Thank you very much.
I also wanted to point out a nice important fact for you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is the UN World Toilet Day, 19 November. It's to destigmatize the toilet and have, I mean, people don't like talking about toilets and poop and pee.
Yes.
So the UN Toilet Day is all about celebrating the toilet and giving and accelerating the use of the toilet.
Thank you very much for joining us. Research Manager for the Sanitation Units at the Water Research Commission, Dr. Sudhir Pillay, talking to us about, well, basically African Solutions to Sanitation, Revolutionary Investments, RoundTable, which seeks to amplify interventions in the water and sanitation crisis in South Africa.